Hello, people. Uh, Sitting here in the empty room where my son used to be. Uh, Sitting here with my cat buddy. And I haven't finished a book, but I have finished a portion of a book. I had a real hard time finding, the Tacitus that I wanted, the Tacitus. Uh, so I got this one. And this one has everything that he's ever written. Just kind of weird, I've always seen his writing on Germany referred to as Germania, but this one has it as Germany and its tribes, and it's a fairly accurate description. It's very short. I read the whole thing last night, and I do have a couple of notes in here. He names an awful lot of tribes, and it's just kind of cool because I have laid all the groundwork for this, and I'm going to name a couple of them off here. The Suevi, that's sometimes it's spelled with a B instead of a V. The modern day area in Germany called Swabia. That's where it got its name from. And the Suevian knot, that's, it comes from them. The Cherusci, that was Arminius's tribe. And he does mention that a little bit. But it's just funny when he talks about the Cherusci, he does not mention Arminius. The Batavi, these are the Batavians, and those would be Dutch or Belgium. That's what we would think of those as. But they were pretty fierce warriors, and the Romans really made good use of them. And I believe, I might be wrong about this, but I think that the Varangian Guard may have been Batavians. I might be wrong about that. I am wrong every once in a while. The Langobards. The Langobards are the Lombards. And it just means the Longbeards. And of course they had a very long history, and they ended up fucking taking over, the northern half of Italy, and then the Franks kicked them out, and fuck, there's towns in America named Lombard. The Angli I find very interesting. That's the cat. He's in a box over there. He's fucking ripping it apart. The Angli. The Angli were one of two tribes that got invited over to England to help settle some of their stupid-ass wars that they were having, and the other tribe being the Saxons. And that's where the word Anglo-Saxon comes from. I don't know how the hell that came to mean all white people, because the Angli and the Saxons are Germans. And when they got over there, they sent word back home. They're like, send more men. We could take this fucking place over. And of course, that's what they do. The Marcomanni, Rome had years and years of the Marcomannic Wars. I didn't write it down here, but they also mentioned the Helvetii. The Helvetii, I think anthropologists now, people that study the age of migration, they would call the Helvetii Swiss. And I've got a little picture that I cut out on my refrigerator of, because the Helvetii scored a very big win over some Roman legions. But the Helvetii didn't kill them all. The Helvetii made them go under the yoke. And I thought that was kind of a cool thing. I do have some reading to do here, so I haven't turned any lights on in this room, so I'm going to see what I can do if I'm able to read this. 726. It was actually very short. I don't know if I'm going to read all of this. It's an awful big paragraph here. In the same remote corner of Germany, bordering on the ocean, dwelled a Cimbri, spelled with a C, a now insignificant tribe, but of great renown. Of their ancient glory widespread traces yet remain. On both sides of the Rhine are encampments of vast extent, and by their circuit you may even now measure the warlike strength of the tribe, and find evidence of that mighty emigration. Rome was in her 640th year when we first heard of the Cimbrian invader in the consulship of Caecilius Metellus and Papirius Carbo, from which time to the second consulship of the Emperor Trajan we have to reckon about 210 years. So long have we been in conquering Germany. In the space of this long epoch, many losses have been sustained on both sides. Neither Samnite nor Carthaginian, nor Spain nor Gaul, not even the Parthians, have given us more frequent warnings. German independence truly is fiercer than the despotism of the Arsaces. What else, indeed, can the East taunt us with but the slaughter of Crassus, when it has itself lost Pacorus and been crushed under a Ventidius? But Germans, by routing or making prisoners of Carbo, Cassius, Scaurius, Aurelius, Servilius, Capio, and Marcus Manlius, deprived the Roman people of 5 consular armies, and they even robbed a Caesar of Varus and his 3 legions. Not without loss to us were they discomfited by Marius in Italy, by the great Julius in Gaul, and by Drusus, Nero, and Germanicus on their own ground. Soon after, the mighty menaces of Caius Caesar were turned into a jest. Then came a lull, until on the occasion of our discords and the civil war, they stormed the winter camp of our legions, and even designed the conquest of Gaul. Again they were driven back, and in recent times we have celebrated triumphs rather than won conquests over them. All right, get off of that, you fucking cat. The book was written in 98 CE. And now I have 730 to 731. I'll never be able to pronounce this. Beyond the Suiones is another sea, sluggish and almost motionless, which we may certainly infer girdles and surrounds the world, from the fact that the last radiance of the setting sun lingers on till sunrise with a brightness sufficient to dim the light of the stars. Even the very sound of his rising, as popular belief adds, may be heard, and the forms of gods and the glory round his head may be seen. Only thus far, and here rumor seems truth, does the world extend. The cat bit my foot. What do you want? Yeah, I got the second paragraph written here, but this is like the whole fucking page. I'm just going to read the bottom of it, because they talk about amber. I am therefore inclined to think that the islands and countries of the West, like the remote recesses of the East, where frankincense and balsam exude, contain fruitful woods and groves, that these productions, acted on by the near rays of the sun, glide in a liquid state into the adjacent sea, and are thrown up by the force of storms on the opposite shores. If you test the composition of amber by applying fire, it burns like pine wood, and sends forth a rich and fragrant flame. It is soon softened into something like pitch or resin. And I missed a piece here. Okay, he's talking about the Germans that bring the amber and trade it to the Romans. To them it is utterly useless. They gather it in its raw state, bring it to us in shapeless lumps, and marvel at the price which they receive. It is, however, a juice from trees, as you may infer from the fact that there are often seen shining through it reptiles and even winged insects, which have become entangled in the fluid, are gradually enclosed in the substance as it hardens. I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool that they actually knew what amber was. And amber, a lot of amber comes from the Baltic. You can just pick it up on the fucking beach. 732, and this is it, I promise. I just have to find this. The Feni, and I wonder if he's talking about fins here. The Feni are strangely beast-like and squalidly poor. Neither arms nor homes have they. Their food is herbs, their clothing skins, their bed the earth. They trust wholly to their arrows, which for want of iron are pointed with bone. The men and the women are alike supplied by the chase, for the latter are always present and demand the share of the prey. The little children, the hell am I? Have no shelter from wild beasts and storms, but a covering of interlaced boughs. Such are the homes of the young, such are resting place of the old. Yet they count this greater happiness than groaning over field labor, toiling at building, and poising the fortunes of themselves and others between hope and fear. Heedless of men, heedless of gods, they have attained the hardiest of results, and not needing so much as a wish, all else is fabulous, and that the Helusi and the Oxyones have the faces and expressions of men, with the bodies and limbs of wild beasts. All this is unauthenticated, and I shall leave it open. That's the last sentence of the thing. This is like an 800-page book. Look how small it is. They crammed 800 pages in here. The pages are like fucking rolling paper. So I'm at least going to read the Agricola. I don't know about the rest of it. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for watching.